Debt is a trap. The deeper you go, the harder to escape. It's the middle of the night. You're lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, wide awake. Tomorrow morning, the rent is due, the school fees are waiting, your car loan is choking, and your phone won't stop buzzing with debt reminders. You pull the covers over your face, hoping the problems will disappear. But debt doesn't go away. It grows, like a hole you keep digging deeper and deeper. The more sand you scoop out, the more impossible it feels to climb out. And that's exactly what debt is. It's not just money you owe, it's a trap that pulls you further the more you struggle without wisdom. Today, we're going to unpack one powerful wisdom quote. Debt is like digging a hole. The more sand you collect, the deeper you go. We'll break it down into 10 profound lessons. Each one will shine a light on debt, how it works, why it destroys, and most importantly, how you can avoid or escape it. This isn't just about numbers and bank accounts. It's about your freedom, your peace of mind, your destiny.
Don't hesitate to subscribe to this channel for inspiring wisdom, life-transforming content like this. It helps to give you the best watching moment.
1. Debt starts small, but grows quietly, like a hole you don't notice. Debt rarely begins as a mountain. It usually starts as a handful of sand. Just a little borrowing here, a small swipe of the credit card there, a quick loan from a friend. Innocent, harmless, and manageable. But the problem is, debt has a silent, creeping nature. It doesn't show its claws immediately. It lulls you into comfort until one day you look around and realize you are standing at the bottom of a hole you didn't even notice you were digging. Think about how most people get into debt. It usually starts with something small, like a new phone. You see it on display at the store, shining under the lights. Your current phone still works, but the new one has features you've convinced yourself you can't live without. You don't have the cash, but the salesman assures you, don't worry, you can pay in installments. Just 15,000 naira a month. It's nothing. It sounds light, so you agree. That's the first shovel of sand you remove. Next month, a medical emergency comes. You don't have enough savings, so you borrow again. Another scoop. Then school fees arise, and instead of cutting back expenses, you borrow. Scoop. Before you know it, the small hole has widened. The pattern is clear. Debt sneaks in like a whisper, but it multiplies like wildfire. It's like termites in a house. At first, you don't notice. The wood looks fine, the walls are standing strong. But deep inside, something is eating away silently. One day, you lean on the wall and it collapses. That's how debt works. Quiet, subtle, until it reveals itself in a way that shakes your life. Wisdom lesson. The first lesson about debt is awareness. Don't underestimate small debts. They are like tiny leaks in a bucket. A few drops may seem harmless, but over time, the whole bucket will be empty. If you want to avoid the trap, you must start by respecting the power of small beginnings, both positive and negative. Just like a seed can grow into a mighty tree, a small, careless debt can grow into a financial prison. Practical solution. Before you borrow, even if it's just small, pause and ask yourself, if I don't have the money now, how sure am I that I'll have it later? Most people answer with optimism, but optimism without a plan is a trap. Instead, build the discipline of saving for what you want. If you can't afford it now, wait until you can. The pain of waiting is far lighter than the pain of paying back debt with interest. In short, debt starts like a scratch, but if ignored, it becomes a deep wound. The first shovel of sand feels harmless, but it's the beginning of the hole you may not climb out of. 2. The illusion of progress, collecting sand that buries you deeper. One of the greatest dangers of debt is that it creates the illusion of progress. You feel like you're moving forward, but in reality, you're digging yourself deeper. The new car makes you look successful. The fancy clothes make you appear rich. The loan for your business feels like growth, but if it's not handled wisely, you're only burying yourself under a mountain of obligations that will eventually suffocate you. Imagine someone digging a hole while tossing the sand to the side. At first, it looks like they're building something. The sand pile grows bigger, and they might even climb on top of it for a better view. But what they don't realize is that the deeper they dig, the harder it will be to climb out of the pit. That's what debt does. It gives you temporary height, but long-term depth. Take, for instance, someone who takes a loan to buy a car they can't really afford. For the first few weeks, they enjoy the admiration of neighbors and friends. The car shines and they feel like they've arrived. But underneath the shine is the reality: monthly repayments, insurance costs, fuel, repairs. Soon the car that once gave them pride now gives them pressure. The illusion fades, but the hole remains. Or think about credit cards. You swipe it at the mall and walk out with bags of new clothes. For a moment, you feel empowered. It feels like wealth. But when the bill arrives, reality knocks. You didn't spend money you had. You borrowed money from your future self. And when the interest piles up, you realize you're not climbing higher, you're sinking deeper. Wisdom lesson: debt is deceptive because it allows you to enjoy without earning first. It flips the natural order. Normally, you work, then you enjoy the fruit of your labor. But with debt, you enjoy first and work later to pay. This backwardness is why it feels like progress when in reality, it's regression. True progress isn't how much you display, it's how much you own without chains. Practical solution: before you collect any loan, pause and ask, am I building or am I burying? There's a big difference between borrowing to invest in something that grows, like an education or a wisely calculated business venture, versus borrowing for consumption, like fashion, gadgets, or showing off. The first can lift you. The second will bury you. It's like eating junk food versus eating healthy meals. Junk food gives you quick pleasure, but damages your body long term. Healthy food may not be as exciting in the moment, but it builds strength. Debt for show is junk food. It satisfies now, but destroys later. Debt for true investment is like a nutritious meal. It may stretch you, but it builds. In short, don't confuse movement with progress. A rocking chair moves, but it doesn't go anywhere. Debt gives you that rocking motion. It feels like motion, but you remain in the same spot, or worse, deeper in the hole.
3. Debt steals tomorrow's freedom to pay for today's comfort. Debt is essentially a trade-off between your future and your present. It's like writing a contract with your tomorrow just so your today can look a little more comfortable. The problem is, tomorrow always comes, and when it does, it arrives with demands you cannot escape. Imagine for a moment that you earn 200,000 naira a month. Without debt, that money belongs to you. You can decide how to use it, save it, invest it, or enjoy it. But once you're in debt, a portion of that income no longer belongs to you. It has been mortgaged. Your tomorrow has already been hijacked by decisions you made yesterday. That's why debt feels like slavery. Your labor no longer serves you, it serves your creditors. Picture this: a young man decides to take out a huge loan to throw a grand wedding. The pictures are stunning. The social media applause is loud. And for a moment he feels like a king. But 6 months later, the applause has died down, yet the debt remains. Every month he sends a chunk of his salary to pay back money spent on a wedding that lasted just one day. That's how debt steals tomorrow's freedom. One day of comfort can cost you years of labor. Think also about payday loans. Many people fall into this trap. You take a small loan to bridge the gap until the next salary comes in. It feels smart in the moment, but when the salary arrives, it doesn't belong to you, it goes back to the lender. Now you borrow again to survive the next cycle.
Before long, you're trapped in a revolving door where every tomorrow is already eaten up by yesterday's decisions. Wisdom lesson. Debt always steals from your future self. It may give you instant gratification, but it leaves you with long-term pain. That's why it's dangerous. It seduces your today while robbing your tomorrow. True wisdom is not about how comfortable you are today, but how free you will be tomorrow. Practical solution. Whenever you're tempted to borrow, ask yourself, am I willing to chain my future for this present comfort? If the answer is no, then discipline yourself to wait. Practice delayed gratification. Build a culture of saving and budgeting so that when you enjoy something tomorrow, it comes without guilt or chains. Think of your income as a servant. If you are debt-free, that servant works only for you and your family. But when you're in debt, your servant also works for someone else, the bank, the loan shark, the creditor. Why would you let your hard-earned servant serve another master? That's the slavery debt creates. In short, debt is a thief dressed as a helper. It steals your tomorrow under the disguise of helping you today. Don't sell your future freedom for temporary comfort. 4. The emotional weight, anxiety, shame, and sleepless nights. Debt doesn't just affect your bank account, it affects your heart, your mind, and even your health. The weight of owing money is not just financial, it is deeply emotional. It brings anxiety, shame, and sleepless nights that can rob you of peace. Let's paint the picture. Imagine someone owing multiple people at once, banks, friends, and maybe even family. Every time their phone rings, their heart skips. Is it another debt reminder? They avoid answering calls, dodge messages, and sometimes even lie about their situation. Slowly, debt becomes a prison not just of money, but of mind. Have you ever seen someone in deep debt trying to sleep? They toss and turn at night, replaying numbers in their head. If I pay this one, I won't be able to pay that one. If I delay this, the interest will increase. Their mind becomes a calculator that never switches off. This constant worry raises stress levels, leads to headaches, high blood pressure, and even depression. The emotional toll of debt is often heavier than the financial toll. Shame is another weapon debt uses. When you owe someone, you often avoid eye contact with them. You may even avoid social gatherings for fear of meeting people you owe. Some people stop attending family functions because they owe a relative and don't want to be embarrassed. Debt isolates. It makes you hide. And when you hide, you lose connection with people who could actually help you rise again. Think of it this way. Money problems are like a shadow that follows you everywhere. You may dress nicely, smile in public, post happy pictures online, but deep down the weight of debt drags you into quiet corners where you break down. That's why many people say financial stress is worse than physical stress, because you can't run away from it. Wisdom lesson. Debt is not just financial bondage, it is emotional bondage. It robs you of peace, joy, and confidence. That's why escaping it is not just about numbers, it's about reclaiming your dignity, your sleep, and your mental health. Practical solution. If you are already in debt, the first step is to face it head-on instead of hiding. List out what you owe, to whom, and how much. Sometimes the fear feels bigger than the reality. Creating a plan reduces anxiety because now you see the path forward. Secondly, talk about it. Share your struggle with a trusted friend, mentor, or counselor. Silence makes the shame heavier, but openness brings relief, and sometimes even help. Also, learn to separate your identity from your financial state. Being in debt does not make you a failure, it makes you human. Many great people once struggled with debt, but overcame it. Don't let shame sink you further into the hole. Instead, let it motivate you to rise, one step at a time. In short, debt weighs more on the heart than on the wallet. It steals peace, but you can reclaim it by facing the truth, making a plan, and refusing to let shame define you. 5. How debt destroys relationships, trust, and even marriages. Debt is not just a financial issue, it's a relational destroyer. Money is one of the leading causes of conflict in families, friendships, and marriages. And when debt enters the picture, the fire intensifies. Picture a husband and wife. At first, they are in love, dreaming of building a life together. But then debt creeps in. Maybe the husband takes a loan without telling his wife, or maybe the wife secretly borrows from friends to maintain appearances. At first, they hide it, but eventually the truth surfaces. Suddenly, the marriage that once felt like a partnership now feels like a courtroom. One accuses, the other defends. Trust begins to crumble, and debt becomes the third person in the marriage, louder, heavier, and more demanding than love itself. It's not just marriages. Friendships often collapse because of debt. How many stories have we heard of people lending money to a close friend only to be disappointed when repayment never comes? The trust that took years to build shatters in months. The borrower avoids calls, dodges messages, and sometimes even lie about their situation. Debt becomes a prison not just of money, but of mind. Even family relationships aren't spared. A brother borrows from a sister. At first it's, "Just help me, you know I'll pay you back." But when the repayment delay, bitterness sets in. Family gatherings become awkward. Words like stingy, irresponsible, and ungrateful start flying around. Before long, siblings stop speaking, parents take sides, and the family bond weakens, all because of debt. Debt also destroys trust. When someone borrows and doesn't repay, people hesitate to help them again, even when they are genuinely in need. It's like a stain on reputation. You may be gifted, talented, and kind, but once people tag you as unreliable with money, doors begin to close. Trust is the currency of relationships, and debt, when abused, burns that currency quickly. Wisdom lesson. Debt has the power to ruin what money alone cannot buy: relationships, trust, and respect. It's not just about paying back money, it's about keeping your word. When you owe and don't pay, you're not just breaking a financial obligation, you're breaking trust, and trust once broken is hard to restore. Practical solution. If you are in debt to a loved one, communicate honestly. Don't run, don't hide. Explain your situation and propose a plan. People can forgive delay, but they struggle to forgive silence and dishonesty. Secondly, be cautious about borrowing from friends and family. Sometimes it's better to endure the hardship than to risk a relationship. Money can be replaced, but trust is harder to rebuild. For marriages, transparency is key. Couples must be open about their finances. Hiding debt from your spouse is like planting a landmine in your living room. It will explode eventually. Instead, treat debt as a shared battle. When both partners face it together, unity grows stronger. But when one hides it, resentment tears the bond apart. In short, debt doesn't just dig a financial hole, it digs a relational grave. Guard your relationships more than your reputation, and never allow money, especially borrowed money, to destroy what love, time, and trust have built.
6. The trap of good debt versus bad debt, and why most people get it wrong. You've probably heard financial experts talk about good debt and bad debt. Good debt, they say, is borrowing that helps you grow financially, like a student loan, a mortgage, or a business loan. Bad debt, on the other hand, is borrowing for consumption, like buying clothes, gadgets, or luxuries you can't afford. Sounds simple, right? But here's the trap. Most people confuse the two, and what they call good debt ends up becoming bad. Take the example of a student loan. On paper, it's a good debt because education is supposed to increase your earning potential. But if a student takes a massive loan to study a course with little job prospects, or if they fail to finish their studies, the good debt becomes a lifelong burden. They graduate not with opportunity, but with a financial chain around their neck. Or consider business loans.
Yes, borrowing to start a business can be wise if the business model is tested, the risks are managed, and the returns are realistic. But many people borrow blindly, without a clear plan. They take loans to chase ideas they haven't researched. When the business fails, as many new businesses do, they are left with not just disappointment, but crushing debt. What was supposed to be good debt becomes a nightmare. Even mortgages can be deceptive. Buying a home with a loan seems like a smart investment. But if you overextend yourself, buying a house beyond your means, you end up house rich but cash poor. You own a property, but you're broke every month because the repayments swallow your income. That's not freedom, that's slavery disguised as progress. Here's the truth. There is no such thing as purely good debt. Every debt carries risk, and every debt has the potential to become bad if handled without wisdom. Wisdom lesson. The key isn't labeling debt as good or bad. It's understanding your capacity, your discipline, and your goals. Debt is like fire. Fire can cook your food and warm your house, but it can also burn your house down. The difference is not in the fire, it's in how you use it. Similarly, debt can help or harm depending on your wisdom, planning, and discipline. Practical solution. Before taking any loan, run it through 3 filters. Necessity. Do I truly need this, or am I being driven by pressure and desire? Return. Will this debt create income or growth that outweighs its cost? Capacity. Do I realistically have the means to repay without choking my life? If the answer to any of these is no, then walk away. Don't let society pressure you into good debt that is actually bad for you. Also, learn the power of patience. Many people rush into debt because they want everything now, a house now, a car now, success now. But wisdom says, if it is truly good, it can wait until you are ready. Good debt becomes truly good only when it is backed by preparation, discipline, and timing. In short, don't be deceived by labels. Debt is never automatically good or bad. It becomes what you make of it. Handle it wisely, or it will handle you harshly.
7. The ripple effect. How one debt breeds another and another. Debt is rarely content with staying small. Like a stone thrown into a pond, it creates ripples that spread wider and wider. One debt often leads to another, until you find yourself in a cycle where every attempt to solve one problem creates 2 more. Imagine this scenario. A young man borrows money to pay rent. The following month, because part of his salary goes into repayment, he doesn't have enough to cover his bills, so he borrows again to pay electricity. Next month, he needs to pay back both debts plus his regular expenses. The hole deepens. By the 4th month, he's borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, and from Paul to pay Mary. That's the ripple effect of debt. It doesn't stay still, it multiplies. This is why payday loans are some of the most dangerous financial traps. You take a small loan to cover today's shortfall, but the interest is so high that when tomorrow comes, you have less money left, so you borrow again. The ripples expand until you're swimming in an ocean of obligations. Think of it like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Each new loan feels like a solution, but it only fuels the flames. The more you borrow to cover debt, the deeper you sink. It becomes a vicious cycle where you are no longer borrowing to progress, you are borrowing just to survive. Wisdom lesson. Debt rarely exists in isolation. Like weeds in a garden, it spreads if not uprooted. One small debt taken without a clear repayment plan breeds another, and before long, you're trapped in a web of obligations. That's why wisdom demands we stop the cycle early before it multiplies. Practical solution. The first step is to stop digging. If you're already in debt,
Don't add another one to solve the first. Break the cycle. Instead of borrowing more, look for ways to cut expenses, increase income, or renegotiate repayment terms. It's like being caught in quicksand. The more you struggle without wisdom, the deeper you sink. The way out is not to move wildly, but to slow down and take deliberate steps. Another solution is the debt snowball method. List all your debts from the smallest to the largest. Focus on clearing the smallest one first while making minimum payments on the others. Once the first is cleared, move to the next. Each victory gives you momentum, like climbing step by step out of the hole. Most importantly, cultivate discipline. Many people borrow again because they refuse to adjust their lifestyle. They want to keep eating out, buying clothes, upgrading gadgets, while drowning in debt. That's like a man with a leaking roof buying new furniture. Fix the leak first. Reduce your expenses, simplify your lifestyle, and redirect the extra money to debt repayment. In short, debt is like a contagious disease. If not treated, it spreads. Don't let one small loan breed a family of debts. Kill it while it's small, or it will multiply until it takes over your entire financial life. 8. Why escaping debt feels impossible. The psychology of the hole. Many people ask, why does it feel so hard to get out of debt? The answer isn't just financial, it's psychological. Debt is not just a hole in your bank account, it's also a hole in your mind. It plays tricks on your thoughts, your emotions, and your decisions, making escape feel impossible. Let's break it down. When you're in debt, your brain often goes into survival mode. Instead of thinking long-term, you focus only on short-term fixes, like, how do I get through this week? How do I pay this installment? That short-term thinking leads to poor decisions, like taking another loan or making only the minimum payment on a credit card. It's like being stuck at the bottom of a hole and only thinking about how to breathe instead of how to climb out. Another psychological trap is shame. When people are in debt, they often feel embarrassed, as if their situation defines their worth. They hide it, avoid asking for help, and pretend everything is fine. This silence makes the hole deeper because they miss out on advice, support, or restructuring opportunities that could lighten the load. Shame isolates, and isolation keeps you stuck. There's also the problem of learned helplessness. After several failed attempts to pay off debt, some people give up entirely. They resign themselves to a lifetime of owing, convincing themselves this is just how life is. That mindset is deadly because it kills hope, and without hope, there's no action. Debt also creates a false sense of relief through minimum payments. Credit card companies, for instance, encourage you to pay just the minimum. It feels like progress, but in reality, you're only paying interest while the principal remains. Psychologically, it tricks you into thinking you're climbing out, when in fact, you're still at the bottom. Wisdom lesson. Debt is not just about money, it's about mindset. If you want to escape, you must first free your mind from the lies debt whispers. You can't do it. It's impossible. Just borrow again. Once your mind is free, your money will follow. Practical solution. Start by changing your self-talk. Instead of saying, "I'll never get out," say, "I am in debt today, but I'm working my way out tomorrow." That shift in language fuels hope and determination. Next, seek financial education. Many people stay in debt because they don't know how money works. Learn about budgeting, saving, investing, and debt repayment strategies. Knowledge gives you tools, and tools give you power. Also, surround yourself with accountability. Share your debt-free goal with a trusted friend, spouse, or mentor. Accountability keeps you disciplined. When others know your goals, you're less likely to sabotage yourself. Finally, celebrate small wins. Every time you pay off a portion of your debt, acknowledge it. Those little victories are like footholds on the wall of the hole, helping you climb higher step by step. In short, the prison of debt is first built in the mind. Break the chains of shame, fear, and helplessness, and you will begin to see the ladder out of the financial hole. 9. Practical steps to stop digging and start climbing out. It's one thing to understand how dangerous debt is, but another to actually break free. The good news is this: no matter how deep the hole is, you can stop digging and start climbing. It won't happen overnight, but step by step, you can rise. The first step is acceptance. Many people remain in debt because they're in denial. They pretend it's not that bad, or they convince themselves it's temporary. But you can't fix what you don't face. Just like an addict must admit they have a problem before healing begins, you must accept the reality of your financial situation. Write down every debt: amounts, interest rates, deadlines. It may be painful, but clarity is the first tool of freedom. Next, stop borrowing immediately. It sounds obvious, but many people try to pay off debt while still borrowing more. That's like trying to empty a bathtub while the tap is still running. You must shut the tap. Make a firm decision: no more new loans, no matter how tempting or desperate. Until you stop digging, you can't climb out. Then create a budget with discipline. A budget is not a punishment, it's a plan that tells your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Identify essential expenses, rent, food, transport, and cut out the non-essentials, luxuries, eating out, impulse shopping. Every naira saved is a brick added to your ladder out of debt. Another practical tool is the debt snowball method I mentioned earlier. Focus on clearing the smallest debt first. Why the smallest? Because small victories fuel motivation. When you clear one debt, even if it's just 10,000 naira, you feel progress. That energy helps you tackle the next one. Alternatively, you can use the debt avalanche method. Start with the highest interest debt to save money long term. Whichever works for you, the key is have a method, not chaos. Also, increase your income if possible. Cutting expenses is good, but sometimes it's not enough. Look for side hustles, freelance opportunities, or part-time gigs. Even an extra 20,000 naira a month can accelerate your debt repayment. Think of it this way: every extra naira you earn is another shovel of sand thrown back into the hole, helping you rise faster. And don't underestimate the power of negotiation. Many creditors are open to restructuring if you communicate. Instead of hiding from calls, talk to them. Request lower interest rates, longer repayment terms, or partial forgiveness. You'll be surprised how much can change when you face your creditors with honesty instead of avoidance. And finally, build a support system. Share your debt-free journey with a trusted friend, spouse, or mentor. Accountability keeps you disciplined. When others know your goals, you're less likely to sabotage yourself. Wisdom lesson: escaping debt is not about luck. It's about a plan, persistence, and patience. No matter how deep the hole is, climbing out begins with one decision: I will stop digging. Practical solution in summary: accept your reality, stop borrowing completely, create and stick to a budget, use debt snowball or avalanche strategies, increase your income streams, negotiate with creditors, and build accountability. In short, debt freedom is not a dream, it's a decision backed by consistent action. You may not climb out in one day, but if you keep at it, one day you'll look around and realize you're no longer in the hole.
10. Building a debt-free future. The wisdom of living within your circle. It's not enough to escape debt. The ultimate goal is to stay free. Many people pay off debt only to fall back in again because they never learned the wisdom of living within their circle. Here's what that means. Everyone has a financial circle: your income, your resources, your capacity. Wisdom is learning to live comfortably inside that circle instead of constantly stretching beyond it. The problem is, society pressures us to live bigger than our means. Social media, advertising, and peer pressure whisper, upgrade, show off, don't be left behind. But if you keep chasing what's outside your circle, you'll always end up borrowing to keep up appearances. Picture someone with an income of 150,000 naira a month. Their true circle should include a modest apartment,
basic needs, and small savings. But if they insist on renting a 100,000 naira apartment, driving a car they can't maintain, and eating out every weekend, they will eventually fall into debt. They're living outside their circle. Living within your circle doesn't mean living miserably. It means living wisely. It means learning contentment. It means saying, I may not have everything I want now, but I will not mortgage my future for temporary appearances. It's choosing peace over pressure, freedom over fake status. Wisdom lesson. The wealthy are not always those who earn the most, but those who spend the least compared to what they earn. Someone earning 100,000 naira with no debt and 20,000 naira in savings is richer than someone earning 1 million naira but owing 5 million naira. True wealth is not income, it is margin, the space between what you earn and what you spend. Practical solution. To build a debt-free future, practice these disciplines. Budget every month. Give every naira an assignment before it arrives. Save before you spend. Even if it's just 10%, prioritize saving. Avoid lifestyle inflation. As your income grows, resist the temptation to upgrade everything. Let your savings grow with your income, not just your expenses. Build an emergency fund. Life is full of surprises, medical bills, car repairs, sudden needs. Without savings, these surprises push you back into debt. An emergency fund protects your freedom. Learn contentment. Don't compare yourself to others. Live your journey, not theirs. Remember, social media shows the highlight reel, not the reality. Many people showing luxury online are drowning in debt offline. Don't copy their misery. Think of your financial circle as a fence around your home. The fence protects you from wandering into dangerous territory. Debt comes when you break the fence and start running where you don't belong. Stay within your circle, expand it gradually through growth, and you will live with peace. In short, debt-free living is not about earning more, but about living wisely. Freedom is not found in bigger things, it's found in fewer chains. The whole or the horizon, the choice is yours. We began with a simple wisdom quote. Debt is like digging a hole. The more sand you collect, the deeper you go. Now, after this journey, the meaning is crystal clear. Debt looks harmless at first, but it grows quietly. It gives illusions of progress while stealing your future. It weighs down your emotions, destroys relationships, and keeps you in a cycle of endless borrowing. But here's the hope. You don't have to stay in the hole. No matter how deep it is, there is always a way out. The first step is to stop digging. Then, with wisdom, discipline, and persistence, you can climb up until you see the horizon of freedom. Remember this: money is a servant, not a master. Debt makes you a slave, but financial wisdom makes you free. Choose today to live within your circle, build slowly, save consistently, and never again sell your tomorrow for today's comfort. Because in the end, debt gives you a hole, but wisdom gives you a horizon. The choice is yours. I believe you've been challenged and motivated in this video to come out of debt if you're in it. If this video spoke to you, share it to that one person who is struggling with debt. Subscribe for more wisdom-driven content. Hit the bell icon to be the first to be notified for fresh upload. Till next time.